You may not be surprised to hear that Candace Owens is still calling French First Lady a man, even after Brigitte just won her lawsuit in France. As a quick refresher, Candace has said a lot of claims about Brigitte Macron, saying that Brigitte was born a man, they're part of some CIA conspiracy cover-up, the president and Brigitte are actually related. These are some of the things Candace has said.
You are officially a very goofy man, Brigitte. But I gotta give it to you, you've definitely got balls. EMMANUEL Macron, the president of France, I'm pretty sure him and his husband Brigitte are going to come for my life. But even if you believed that Brigitte Macron was a woman, and I'm telling you she isn't. Brigitte Macron lived as a dude, transitioned, met EMMANUEL when he was just 14 years old.
A Paris court recently found 10 defendants guilty of cyberbullying for spreading similar false allegations online about Brigitte Macron, so she won that French lawsuit, and some of the defendants that are in trouble are facing prison time for their false claims. Because it's another country's law, this French win for Brigitte is not going to be determinative for the US case. They're two totally different things. There are different burdens of proof and different laws. But I think Candace should be sweating bullets right now after that decision. The French lawsuit and the US defamation lawsuit are part of a bigger effort by Brigitte Macron of shutting down these false allegations against her that she was born a man. And you know where Candace went wrong is there are legitimate criticisms you could go after Brigitte for, like the questionable way that she met her husband, the age that she was, and the predatory way that relationship started. But instead, Candace is saying these other crazy stuff that literally are not true, that she was born a man and other allegations that they're related, when she could be saying actual factual things that would not get her sued. Last year, French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte filed a 22-count defamation lawsuit against Candace because Candace kept saying false allegations, including that Brigitte was a transgender man. Candace Owens' lawyers have responded. They have filed a motion to dismiss, and they are currently going back and forth through motion work arguing that. The funny thing is, when I was looking through the docket, it's so funny. Her lawyers every time were requesting permission to exceed the word limit by like 3,000 words. That's a lot of words. So I can't wait to open those up and see what's in the filings. There's no final court ruling yet on the U.S. defamation case for the motion to dismiss. It looks like a response is due, and then after that it will likely be set for a hearing where the parties will both argue their sides, and then the judge will make a decision. Probably at least a couple months before we'll have an update on that. U.S. defamation law for a public figure like Brigitte Macron to bring a claim against Candace Owens requires Brigitte to show that Candace is knowingly making these false allegations out of actual malice. That is a higher burden than a normal defamation claim against two private citizens, for example. If I could look into my crystal ball and say what I think was going to happen with this case, I think we're going to see Candace's team pivot to start saying this is her protected freedom of speech and she can say Brigitte's a man if she wants to. And I think they're going to have to try to go that route to get around the actual malice, because Candace has been put on notice many times about the falsehood she's making. They have sent several letters and correspondence to her before the lawsuit was even filed. And in response, she just keeps doubling down. And she even says she's going to bring back the series on her podcast talking about becoming Brigitte for her theory about how Brigitte was born a man. This was her response on Twitter. She said, oh, that's different. French law, it doesn't matter. They were in trouble for cyberbullying. Not only is that what Candace is doing, but also the defamation claim still stands. If I were her lawyers, I'd be so mad that she keeps posting all this stuff on the internet, because that's one of the only ways they can attack that malice burden, is saying she wasn't knowingly making false statements when in response to every legal thing that happens, she goes online and on Twitter and just doubles down and says more. That would be a nightmare for her lawyers. For Brigitte's French win for that lawsuit, the U.S. court analyzing the defamation claims can use that as like factual background context information, but it's not going to change the law or the legal burden she has for claiming her defamation claims under U.S. law. I'm chronically online, and I've seen a lot of people theorizing that this is why Candace may have switched all of her interest to the Charlie Kirk situation and her conspiracy theories about Erica Kirk. She may be trying to divert attention from all of the claims she previously made about Brigitte that she then doubled down on to defend. So comments, let me know what you think.